Today we're making mozzarella stuffed pretzel buns. These were so satisfying to make and I can't wait for you guys to try them. You want to begin with 1.5 cups of warm water, 2.5 teaspoons of yeast, and a tablespoon of sugar. Mix and set aside for 10 minutes. Here I'm adding 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 4 tablespoons melted unsalted butter, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and after 10 minutes add your yeast mixture in last. Knead your dough for 10 minutes, then add it to an oiled bowl, cover, and let it rest for 1 hour. After 1 hour, you want to create 8 dough balls. Stuff each one with mozzarella cheese and make sure to pinch them closed tightly. You don't want them to open up when we boil them. Let them rest for another 10 minutes, then we're going to boil them for 30 seconds on each side in a pot of water and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Add to a prepared baking sheet and add a generous amount of kosher salt. Bake at 400 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes, and you're done. Today we're making cookie butter stuffed chocolate chip cookies. You want to begin with 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of sugar, and 1 stick of cold unsalted butter chopped. Beat your butter and sugar together for 5 to 10 minutes, then add in 2 eggs, 1 at a time, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of milk. Then add all of your dry ingredients. I'll have everything on the screen for you guys. Mix together well, then roll into balls. We're going to stuff them with frozen cookie butter balls and roll them back up. Add more Biscoff cookies on top, then bake them at 350 for 20 minutes. And you're done. Today we're making these delicious and satisfying coffee buns. It's pretty much your standard bun recipe, but it's coated in coffee cookie dough. So you want to begin with 1 cup of warm milk, a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon and a half of yeast. Mix and set aside for 10 minutes. Add all of your ingredients into your mixer and add your yeast mixture in last. You want to knead your dough for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, add your dough to an oiled bowl, cover, and let it rest for 1 hour. While my dough was resting, I went ahead and made my coffee cookie dough topping. I'll have all the ingredients on the screen for you guys, but I went ahead and added it to a piping bag. After 1 hour, you want to separate your dough into 9 dough balls. Take one of your dough balls and roll it out. Cut it into 9 pieces, and we're going to stuff each one with 1/2 tablespoon of butter. Now for the rest of your 8 dough balls, you want to stuff it with your little butter pouch. Form them back into a ball and add them to a prepared baking sheet. Cover and let it rest for another 45 minutes. Swirl on your coffee topping about halfway down. Bake at 365 for about 15 to 18 minutes, and you're done.
There's no way home, and I have no mercy. There's no way up, so I'm going down. Still I keep on living, so you pull me closer.
Today we're making Olive Garden's breadsticks, but 10 times better. And if you want the recipe for the chicken gnocchi soup, it's in my last video. But to get started, you want 1 cup of warm water. You're gonna add 2 teaspoons of yeast, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and mix and set aside. In your mixer bowl attachment, you're gonna add 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons salt, and 3 tablespoons olive oil. After you let your yeast mixture sit for 10 minutes, go ahead and add it in last. You want to knead your dough for 10 minutes, add it to an oiled bowl, and let it rest for 1 hour. 1 hour later, you want to dust your countertop with some flour. Pat your dough ball down gently, and you want to cut out 10 breadsticks. You're basically going to cut them into long strips, and then cut the long strips in half. And you want to roll them out very gently, tapering the ends. The less you touch them, the better they're going to come out. You're going to cover with a towel and let them rest for another 15 minutes. Add them to an oiled baking sheet, and we're going to brush on some egg wash. For my egg wash, I only used 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of water. Bake at 365 for 10 minutes. Brushing on 5 tablespoons of melted butter, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and dry parsley, and we're done.
First go like this. Spin around, stop. Double take 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now it's time to bring it around town.
Yeah, I'm bring it. I'm just the messenger. You watch cooking videos on TikTok all the time. You see food you want to try, so you say to yourself, I have to make that. You send the video to yourself or you save it on your phone, then weeks go by and you never actually make it. It's just a continuous cycle of watching videos and never making the dish. I'm guilty of it too, but if you're watching this right now, this is a sign. Go make that dish you've been putting off.
One of my first viral videos was this garlic cheesy pull-apart bread, so let's make some in time for Super Bowl Sunday. Start with a loaf of bread and slice crisscross lines, but be sure not to cut all the way through. For the garlic butter, we'll need melted butter, garlic powder, black pepper, crushed red pepper, parsley, salt, and crushed garlic. Brush it all over the loaf of bread and be sure you get in between the cracks as well. Then we're gonna stuff each crevice with a piece of sliced mozzarella or provolone cheese. Wrap it in foil and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes, then uncover it and bake for another 15 minutes. And that's all. Follow for more easy recipes. Enjoy!
We
You've been seeing these tacos everywhere, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make them. You're going to start out with some good cuts of beef. I'm using beef chuck, aka the shoulder, seasoned with salt and pepper, and give them a sear for about 30 seconds aside just to add a little bit of color, which is going to add flavor for later. Take them out, chop up an onion, 5 cloves of garlic, go in with those, the same pot. You're going to go in with equal parts of beef stock and water, bring those to a simmer. Go in with some dried chili peppers. I use 2 here. Go in with some wet chipotle peppers as well. This is going to add a delicious smoky flavor. And then you're going to go in with some crushed tomatoes. Season with bay leaves, salt, cumin, Mexican oregano, and some lime juice. Throw all your meat back in there. And an hour later, you're going to take all the other solids out. We're talking the peppers, the onions, the garlic. Throw them all into a blender. Blend them up into a nice puree. Pour that back into the pot, and you're gonna have to let that simmer for about 3 hours. In 3 hours, I'll have the final product. Come back.
You must follow food TikTok. Knowing how to make food from a box is not good enough. Knowing how to order food online is not impressive. Come to food TikTok and I will show you how to cook such amazing food that your friends and family will be so impressed, and you'll always be showing off your amazing cooking skills.
The best way to roast your potatoes. Use small potatoes and boil until fork tender. Drain off the water and put them in a big bowl. We're going to start with a generous amount of olive oil. You're going to do salt, pepper. We're going to go onion powder, garlic powder, crushed red pepper, fresh basil, fresh thyme. Get that all mixed together and dump it out on a lined baking sheet. Spread them out, give them a little room on every side, and then use a glass to smash them about a 1/2 inch thick. And then throw them in a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes, but you're going to want to flip them halfway through. And you're going to end up with a soft interior, crispy exterior, the best roasted potatoes you've ever had.
Believe me when I say this is going to blow your mind and change the way you make your lunch wraps. I saw this yesterday and I just had to try it. First, you want to make your protein. I've gone with crispy tofu. Make a cut halfway down your wrap or tortilla. Add your fillings to each quarter. I've gone with lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, tofu, of course some sauce. Now for the magic. Starting at the cut, fold each corner in so you're left with a little pocket, and then toast it. It'll have you smiling like me even before your first bite.
I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind.
I'm tired of spending $6 to $8 on boba, so I bought this giant pack of pre-made ones and I'm going to learn a bunch of my favorite drink recipes at home. Let's start with brown sugar boba. Cook the tapioca as instructed on the package, then in another pot, 1 cup of water, 3/4 cup of brown sugar on medium heat. Once the sugar dissolves and starts boiling, add the cooked boba and simmer on low heat for 15 to 20 minutes or until the texture looks like this. Turn off the flame, let it cool for 30 minutes and you'll get sticky like this. Ooh! Put it in your cup, swirl it around, and then pour in your milk and enjoy. You guys, it was honestly so good. Follow for more boba recipes to come.